Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. My name is Dr. Hulya Odabas. I am the Director of Education working with Study Smart Tutors, former school counselor, chemistry teacher, and recently become a doctor. I'm the first generation myself, first one in my family to go to college. Here, this presentation made it with my co-presenter, Claudia Estorada. She is also first generation herself. She is a school counselor working for the Unified School District. Today, I want to talk about the supporting the mental health needs of first generation college students. We put a little community agreements that hope that you are agree today, that we want you to come as you are. We want you to think everything is an invitation, but also we want you to challenge yourself to welcome the new experience. In this next 30, 40 minutes session, we are going to talk about the first generation college students, experiences and challenges. I'll also talk about the unique stressors. We'll share some data, what worked, what didn't work. We'll share some resources, and then we'll talk about the Impastor Syndrome as well. I want us to get started with this quote about what it means to be a first generation college student. Being a student of the first generation means that you take the chance, step beyond your comfort zone, and do something you never seen anyone do before in your family. And it's a journey you started. I want us to take a moment to do a reflection and answer the question for yourself. If you had a chance to go back to your first year of college, what would you tell yourself? And then maybe the next one is, what do you wish someone told you when you were in the first year of college? I think having that reflection will help us to understand what it's like to be a first year student, regardless of if you are the first gen or not. I want you to take a moment to think about it. Again, the next question, it comes if you are working with your students, mainly the first generation college students. That was my background. Not only I'm the first generation, but my whole background is coming from a first generation college student school counselor that I work in Title I school for 6 years. And now is in the Study Smart Tutors, this is our goal, this is our mission, that we partner with educational institution and college access program to prepare students for K-12 college career and lifelong success. We serve the needs of partners by providing a comprehensive programming to students, families, and educators. I want you to take a moment, think about your students, your community. What are some first generation college students' challenges? And now I am going to go over a wonderful review that I've done for my doctoral dissertation. It's the first generation college student challenges. But I want to first start with we define the first generation college student as those who come from homes where neither parents nor the guardian has graduated from college. Because they will be the first ones attending the college, they face a considerable number of challenges once they get into college. And research shows that the first generation students are more likely to experience financial challenges, racial inequalities, lack of self-esteem, isolation, and marginalization. And higher education literature is filled with the research demonstrating that first-year college students are less likely to persist and graduated when they compared to their colleagues whose parents have gone to college education. Most first-year students identify themselves as coming from a low socioeconomic status. Since they don't have a college-educated parents at home, the students might lack not only the financial resources, but also financial literacy skills to make a fully informed decision. It is also very common for first-gen students to work full-time while they are in the college due to financial issues. The research has also shown that many first-gen students leave the college to work because, again, for the financial problems. In the United States, racial and ethnic equality challenges and consequences have been in the post-secondary education and have been researched for many years. But the recent research by the Tutors showed that overall several decades in the United States, African-American, Hispanic, Native American, and low-income students have completed high school and attended the college at constantly lower rates than their white and higher income student counterparts. Along with the financial and racial barriers, underrepresented minority first-gen college students suffer from a low self-esteem. Research showed the first-gen students express that they are uncomfortable in getting the college setting and have a hard time adapting the environment because they might not share similar interests and experience among their white peers. Again, as a first-gen by myself, as an immigrant to the country almost 19 years now, that I hate the same feeling, same fears. And we'll talk about the imposter syndrome a little bit, but this is a general common feeling that all first-gen students are experiencing. Another challenges is the isolation that I want to talk about it. For the isolation study showed that the students' perception of not fitting in are associated with the cultural and racial differences between themselves and the student body majority, contributing to their sense of isolation. And Javid's research about the college persistence for low-income and first-generation students find that feeling isolated negatively influences students in their academic experiences and the formation of social and support networks with their peers. That is enough challenges, if not more. Now, let's take a few minutes to explore how first-gen college students' mental health is affected based on the challenges we just described. I want you to take a moment again here. How does these challenges affect the first-gen college students' mental health? You can think about your own students, your own experience, and your own community that you are serving. And now I want us to take a look what mental health is and what is it to help us better support our students. What my friend is usually say, mental health is a buzzword now. Yeah, we do talk about the mental health, but not because it's a buzzword now, because it's important. That's what I want us to to have a time to talk about this. What is mental health and what is not? Mental health is important. Mental health, something everyone has, worth making time for. And mental health is part of being human, have both positive and negatives. And it's also complex, but also real. Mental health is part of you, linked to physical health. And then mental health, lastly, is influenced by many factors. It's important is to understand what is it, but it's also important what is not. And that's the most stigma coming from the society. Mental health is not a sign of a weakness, not something to be ashamed of, not something to all in your mind and head and always something negative. Mental health is not interchangeable term with mental illness. It's a very different meaning. I want to highlight this one. And when mental health is not something you can just snap out of it or fake or made up. Here are some important data that we want to talk about it. Mental health is important and it's part of everyone, but how does mental health affect college students and in what ways? I cannot hear you, but I can say, you could say, well, I'm not a mental health professional. I don't know how to cure it, how to spot it, But there are some ways that I want us to take a moment to look at this statistic. How does it look like for college students? According to statistic gathered from American College Health Association National College Assessment College students, mental health is present and affects many college students. According to research, college students struggle with loneliness, with over 63% of college students report feeling very lonely. Here's another data about the anxiety. Around 30% of the college students reported feeling overly anxious. And then the depression comes next. Depression rates of moderate to severe depression among college students increased from 23.2% to the 41.1% from 2007 to 2018, which is not even including the data from the COVID. And then lastly, the suicide rate is the increase 56% between 2007 to 2017 among those between the age 10 to 24 years old, according to CDC. And then lastly, pandemic COVID has also affected college students' mental health, as 53% of college president listed student mental health among their biggest COVID-19 related worries, as COVID has caused increased anxiety, financial worries, isolation, only to name a few challenges among college students. I know some statistic, and like this one, can be very overwhelming, but being aware of them can and will help us better support our students. Now I want to talk about it. I want to share some stories. While I was making my dissertation, I had a chance to meet with the college students. My dissertation about the first generation college students' challenges, college retention. But I want to share a few snaps is about students' story, more than the numbers now. My name is Katrina, and I am the first one in my family to attend the college, let alone make it all the way and get accepted into the graduate school. Parents, although not together, neither have made it to college or not even to the high school. And this is her story. I am the future of my family, and to try to be the one get us out of the poverty and not have to worry about struggle and financial stress anymore. Another challenges, absence and lack of support or understanding from the family. Nahid always had a passion for nursing. However, in Bengali community, it is common for people to pursue careers and become a doctor, engineer. So nursing is often looked down upon. Growing up in a low-income family that immigrated from Bangladesh and not having the emotional support to pursue a career that I was passionate about made college extremely difficult. And then the last one, I gave her a name of Magdalene. Magdalene was a student when I met with her from a UCLA class of 2022. When it was my first year at college, I had no idea how to do anything in college. And I think that it just all brought me down and made me feel like I didn't belong to that school. And I stopped putting in as much effort because I started to believe that I don't belong at the school. Again, research show that the first-generation college students significantly feel less belonging with their family in college environments, suggesting that they are in fact more likely to experience marginalization in higher education setting than continuing generation college students. Here are some common feelings and emotion, especially students from transition from high school to college, all of which are normal and to be expected. First generation college students often experience a range and mixture of feelings about being the first in their family and or communities to attend the college. For example, students might experience both excitement and anxiety. Many students are thrilled, but also somehow frightened about being away from home for college, living on their own, being in the first one in family to attend a college. These students may ask themselves, am I ought to be college students? Am I cut out to be the college students despite their outstanding academic performance in high school or getting accepted in the colleges? And other students might feel a sense of responsibility, as many first-generation students have helped pay for their education, perhaps more so than the students of higher socioeconomic backgrounds. In addition to financial responsibility, these students may be pressured by family or friends to return home often, may receive mixed message about their changing identities. It's also the pride and guilt. It's another feeling that first-generation college students might have. Students often feel an overwhelming sense of pride about being the first in their family to attend a college or complete the college. And college degree can provide many opportunities, important accomplish, yet many first-gen students may also feel guilt about having the opportunity to attend a college while others in the family did not have that opportunity. These students may wonder if it is fair for them to be at the school while their parents struggle financially at home. I am sure many of you are relating with those stories now. I certainly can. I am coming from a home, from a single motherhood with three sisters, and one of them did not go to college, and I have that guilt all the time with me. Is it fair that my sister didn't go to college? Is it okay? Is there a pride, or is this a feeling of pride, or is this a feeling of guilt? Students may feel the need to go to home to support their family. They also feel guilty about their academic performance if it is not good as much as they hope to, or the families hope to. Other common feelings are embarrassment, shame. The students may feel embarrassed over their socioeconomic status or level of education in their family. First-generation students may try to act like their family is more highly educated or financially advantaged than they really are. Again, can you relate this with statistic? Can you see as students, they are pretending who they are, but they are not really who they are. They may be embarrassment around being different from their peers at college, particularly if the peers have a long line of family members attending college, or if they seem to know the lingo when first-generation students might not. And lastly, the confusion. First-generation students may feel out of the loop. I want to say out of the loop when it comes to college process and procedures such as application, graduation, job, or grad school stuff. They might not be aware of the resources available to them or an option available to them after graduation. Now, what I want us to think about it, those two questions. This question you can take to your own team, you can take to your departments. Question number one is, what are your common challenges with your students? Academic, social, emotional, mental health. And question number two, not really to be depressed or sad about it. Challenges are challenges. Those are facts, those are research. But there are many things that we know it has been working. And that makes me the doctor as an English language as a second language for me in this country as an immigrant. So the fact that I'm the first gen, but also it's the fact that I call myself a doctor. So what has been working for you? What has been working for your students, for your communities, for your program? Here are from my research base, the common challenges that we put it all together. And there are many, and we talk many of them. The lack of academic preparation, it's the big one. The imposter syndrome, we'll talk about it. Lack of knowledge, financial problems, cultural transition, cultural shocks, stress, changes in the family, lack of student identity that we just mentioned. And then the biggest one is the missing the sense of belonging or identifying with a community. If you ask me what will be my secrets, I think that will be my answer. I have all the challenges, the review it show for us, the financial, cultural shock, imposter syndrome, but it's that I have the community that I lean in and I feel belonging. I can be vulnerable with them. I can ask for a help. Check the challenges. Let's see which one it's that, again, you are seeing commonly in your program, in your students, in your community. These challenges and stressors will vary from student to student based on the student culture, economic backgrounds, family background, or where they are in their life as students. So there's no right or answer, as these challenges are unique to each individual student. We think that it is important for you to be aware of the challenges so that you can empower your students while they face these challenges, or to help them become aware of how to navigate these challenges if they come across them later in their educational journey. So this is the secret of this presentation. If you are getting nothing, but I really want you to get this one, we want you to know the challenges. We want you to respect the data, understand the data, but not really sad about it, not really be upset about it, not really be depressed about it. Knowing this will empower your students. Knowing this will help your program to do more focused preventive solution. Here is the list that we put it for you. What has worked in K-12 setting to help first-gen college students reduce the mental health issues that they might face in college, so they are more likely to succeed. There are two big major parts that has worked. The first part is the academic preparation. When students feel confident and competent, then they are more likely to seek those resources that are available in the college, such as academic support, more rigorous classwork, be on right track to graduation from college, as they have a sense of their capabilities, thus increasing their overall of graduation from college with a degree. The second factor that plays an important role in students' academic and social emotional success is creating a space. I'm saying it again, creating a space that supports students' the social emotional needs to help them better manage the stressor, develop healthy coping skills, and that teach them how to self-regulate their emotion that can be achieved by having available resources at the school. One thing I want you to really be advocate for, to don't assume the student might know. Don't assume student already aware of the resources. Don't assume student already know how to self-regulate their emotions. I really need you to be the advocates in the spaces to teaching those two parts, academic and the social emotional part. And we just talked about what has helped students in the K-12 setting. In a higher education setting, it is important for students to use and develop skills to help them succeed in college, practical tools that they can use day to day, help them develop a sense of belonging again, understanding of not only college process, but themselves as a college students. And it's never too late to learn the new tools, as I mentioned in the K-12 setting as well. Teach them the new tools and skills to overcome the mental health challenges that come with being a first-gen college students. Know your facts, know the challenges. Here are the list some practical tools that we offer by first-gen college students, the other first-gen college students, to help them succeed in college. Now let's talk about the Impastor Syndrome. Imposter syndrome, I'm going to start with what is this? Maybe the first time that you are hearing it, and maybe you are already a master of it. But interesting thing is that I have a friend who is a mental health professional, and for 8 years, and I think the term that she learned as an imposter syndrome, she learned in her practice in the 6th year, 2 years ago, basically. So imposter syndrome is the feeling that you aren't actually qualified for the work you are doing and will be discovered as a fraud. Again, this is just the feeling, not a real thing, but that's what you feel if you have the imposter syndrome. It is prevalent among especially the Black, Indigenous people of color and women, many of them who've been socialized to value others' opinion of their work above their own and to do the things, quote unquote, by the book. Imposter syndrome is a common reaction to doing publicly visible and publicly criticized work. Let's take a seconds. Have you ever felt you've been given a position or responsibility by sheer luck that you know you are not equipped for, and you keep telling yourself that you don't deserve it? Or even worse, you live under the constant fear that people are going to find out about you being a fraud, that you don't really know at all, or you don't really know what's happening. No substance behind the shine, as they say. The very thought of it gives you the pangs of shame. If you do, you're not alone. And it's called that you are suffering from the imposter syndrome. Recent study find that an estimated, you'll be surprised with this number, 70% of the US population suffer from an imposter syndrome and general feeling of not being good enough or smart enough for what you do. As you see in the slide, it's the imposter syndrome. You think you are in the tiny little orange bubble, what I think, and what other things that you know, it's the big part. But in the reality, it's the same part of the circle. If you went the same college, if you had the same title, you probably know, not probably, you know as much as the others, but you don't feel it that way. And that's called imposter syndrome. Why it is important to address? Because imposter syndrome can affect your sense of self-worth, which we talk about the challenges already, right? The self-belonging, self-worthiness, self-confidence, self-awareness, happiness in professional progress, and affect the majority of people at the same sometime in their life. It is important that addressing the imposter syndrome will allow you to accept that you deserve your success. You deserve it. You got it. And that allow you to reach greater heights in your professional life. Same thing for your students. It's important to know, research have found that people who deal with imposter syndrome for a long period of time tend to develop side effects. It's in the 4 area, which is not going to be a surprise for you: anxiety, low or lack of self-confidence, depression, and frustration. If you don't address it, if you don't teach our students, if you don't talk about these things in our space. Remember that one of the things that what worked for, especially for higher education, create a space. Create a space to have a conversation about this. Create a space, create a safe space to welcome the students, accept their shortcomings, understand their challenges, and empower them, explaining them they are not alone, they belong. If you ask me what will be my mission in the world, that's my Twitter too. I think I put on my Twitter handle saying that I am in a mission to tell the communities, tell the students, tell the neighbors, you matter. I have a sign. I always get in trouble with my HOA that I put up on my front yard. It say, you matter, don't give up. And I receive many little sticky notes on my door, just putting those things out front of my home. This is important because impact is bad. Impact has the students are not completing the college. Students feeling they don't belong. Students have the general anxiety, depression, frustration, and not be able to show what they're capable of for this world, for this community, for their own community, for their own family. So we put some resources, mental health resources, especially for California. That's our company based on, that's where I live, and mental health resources. This is also the mental health resources by national. We'll share these slides with the notes, with all the hyperlink that you are have access to use it. I want to thank you for joining the session, for listening to the session. If you have any question, please feel free to email it, education@studysmarttutors.com, or you can send it directly to me, Hulya at studysmarttutors.com. Thank you so much for your advocacy, for your work, for being here, for you do what you do for your students, for your communities, for your program. We appreciate your time.